Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, and 1.
Sashi, Puki.
Okay, here we go. Go ahead.
Sashi, Puki, Jukshi, Meto, Drum. Vira, Vinci, Sange, Shindu, Mikte, Uwargi. Droku, Namdak, Shingla, Drupa, Sho. Idam, Guru, Ratna, Mandala, Kamniryatayami. Sange, Chudang, Toki, Choknam, La. Jangchu, Bardu, Dakni, Kyabsu, Chi. Daki, Chenyan, Gipe, Sunam, Ki. Jola, Penshir, Sange, Drupar, Sho. Sange, Chudang, Toki, Choknam, La. Jangchu, Bardu, Dakni, Kyabsu, Chi. Daki, Chenyan, Gipe, Sunam, Ki. Jola, Penshir, Sange, Drupar, Sho. Sange, Chudang, Toki, Choknam, La. Jamchu, Bardu, Dakni, Kabsu, Chi. Daki, Jinsuk, Gipe, Sunam, Ki. Jola, Penshir, Sange, Drupar, Sho.
Sure. Very good. Muy bien. Gracias. All right. So now we will do a quiz of all things. I know how much you want to do a quiz. So, as always, if you do not plan to do the quiz, avert thy gaze. If you do want to do the quiz, we're going to start, right?
What can you put me in the channel, please?
Oh, yeah. The channel. 1 sec. Okay, let me do that first. Oh, I think I stopped the share to do that. Fine, Aldo. I mean, Ria. Adios, Aldo. Nos vemos. Okay. Thanks for reminding me, Don Aldo. Okay, now we're going to really start the quiz. Here we go. I even put it up this time. Okay, there's 5 questions, okay? Okay. ¿Listos?
Listos.
Done, Kelly McGee? You still doing it?
No, but I'm doing my homework,
Okay.
so I'll catch up. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, if Kelly McGee's not done, we can't go on.
No, don't wait for me.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Whatever Kelly McGee says. Okay, so bienvenidos. Willkommen. Guangling, Guangling. Welcome to class number 5, course 14. This is ACI, if you're wondering. I just want to say that because it's like when you get on the plane, they tell you where you're going right before you leave, just in case you're on the wrong plane. I've never been on the wrong plane. I have been on the wrong train a few times though. And then I'm like, wait, where are we going? Boston? No, I'm not going to Boston. And then you jump off. I'm like, I'm trying to go to Brooklyn. All right. Cool. So, any questions? Let me say. Algunas preguntas? No? All right. I'm going to start talking, and then I'm not going to stop for a while. Okay, so we are in the middle of Lojong Dunduma. What does that mean? Lojong. What does Lojong mean?
Development the heart.
¿Qué?
Desarrollando el corazón, desarrollando un buen corazón.
Oh, yeah. Good. I heard corazón. Good. Some good. And who wrote this book? Or who wrote it down? Publicly. Who taught it publicly first? Any of those questions.
Kadampa Geshe Shikawa.
Oh, yeah, good. What are his years, Rivas?
11:1 and 11:55.
55. You just took the quiz.
I know, 75, sorry.
Yeah.
I wrote 75.
I hope you did. -1. Okay, it's called Lojong Dun Dunma. How many parts to it?
7.
Yeah. Dunma. Dun means 7. And Tun means points or something. $20. Why does it say ma on the end?
Where?
Lojong Dun Dunma.
Ma is the same like mom? Or no?
Yeah, you're really close. I'll give you 5 seconds.
So that ma is like, I don't know.
Oh, so close. Wisdom books are often have a feminine ending, like Lamren Chinmo. I explained that to you, Soregeshe Michael. So it's Lojong Dun Dun Ma. It's a book about the highest wisdom, so it gets a feminine ending, right? Okay, maybe you'll remember next time. Maybe I'll offer money next time. No promises. Okay, so this is so there's 7 points. In our first class, we did the first 3 points, which is, let me see, the preliminaries, the actual practice, and the third point is, where's the third point?
Lifetime.
What's that?
A lifetime.
Oh yeah, yeah. How to a lifetime of practice. Yes. Good. Okay, you get +1 for that now. You're even. Good. I just took my quiz too, right? Anyway, so now we're on point 4, and this is called POA. POA you probably heard of. I know Aldo did, because Aldo's like a big Dharma nerd. So he finds stuff out. POA is very famous. It's like a secret practice, actually. So you hear about POA. Everybody wants to know about POA, because it's how, like, in the secret practice, like when you die, instead of like just dying and going to like another human birth, instead you can go to like a Buddha paradise or something, which is the dream, all right? But in Gelugpa Buddhism, I mean, this is one of those secrets that's not secret, so it's secret, but I'm going to tell you anyway because everyone knows, because everyone heard about POA. Maybe you didn't, but everyone else did, okay? In Gelugpa Buddhism, they usually don't practice POA. They say they don't want to focus on it because you want to get enlightened without having to do it. And apparently it takes a lot of energy to practice. Po means to move, literally. So you see in scriptures, it will say shipo, which means to die and move on, meaning you die and then go to the next birth. But it also literally means like if you say poshak, means I moved in Tibetan, like moved houses or apartments or something. Departamentos, literally. Okay, cool. Yeah. But this is the open version of POA, not the secret one. If you want the secret one, you're gonna have to ask someone for tantric vows. Not me, okay? Find someone who is a good practitioner. So this is called Top Nga. It means the 5 powers. Okay, what's Top Shi? Top Shi. Shi means 4. Top
The
Shi.
4 powers
Yeah, what are they though? 4 powers of what?
to clean your bad seeds.
Yay! What's the name of the sutra they're from?
The Sutra of the 4 powers.
Wow, yay! Trick question, but it's true. That is the name of the sutra. Who taught that sutra?
Buddha.
Yay! Wow. Okay, Rivas, you're on the plus side now. Okay, I'm not giving you any money though. So Tokna is the 5 powers, and so this is the 5 powers of part 4 of the 7-point Lojong practice. Okay, and so this is what you're supposed to be. This is your whole life. Wait, isn't 4 your whole life? Yeah, lifetimes. No, so what's 3 then, Rivas?
Transforming problems to the path.
Yeah, that's 3. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's why I have so many problems. Can't even remember.
Orient myself for a second. So like when we learned the 8 verses,
Yep.
like another way this is taught, and or like this is more about like actually putting it into practice as compared to the 8 verses version.
8 version of what? Turning problems into the path, or?
The Lojong, like the
Okay, Lojong is a genre.
yeah.
And within that genre, we've had 3 different examples. The first one was Lojong Sikgema, the 8 verses by Dorje Senge, Diamond Lion. The second one was like Advices of the Victorious Ones by Gelwa Yang Gunpa. Okay. And now the third Lojong is Lojong Dunduma, the 7-point practice of Lojong, which was made public by Geshe Chikawa, but was taught by Lord Buddha and passed down for like 1700 years. So these are all different versions of the genre of Lojong, which is bodhicitta, how to develop bodhicitta. These are all different masters being like, okay, if you want, this is how you develop bodhicitta, all boiled down into like a single poem or like a single page or very brief, a very briefly written down practice. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So this course, other courses are like 1 book. Like course 6 is like a diamond cutter, for instance. Course 10, 11, and 12 is just the Bodhisattva's way of life. This course is several texts which are short, like 1 page each or something. And so class 4 and 5 are on Lojong Dunduma. I think class 6 too, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't looked at it in a while. Okay. Good question, Kelly McGee. Always helps to have a Subudi in the room, all right? I see you. Okay, here we go. So the first of the 5 powers is Penpakitop. If you study the Wheel of Life, you know Penjekile, which is the projecting karma. It's the same pen. Pen literally means to shoot or throw or project. If you're really good at archery in Tibetan, they call you a dapen lopun. Just means archery master. All right. And so this is when you wake up in the morning. So this basically describes your whole day. And if we describe your whole every day, then therefore we describe your whole life, right? Because your life is made up of days. So the first thing you do in the morning actually kind of talked about this a couple weeks ago or last week when I was like with Lojong Sagema, like decide what you're going to do that day, like when you first wake up. It's even nice before you go to bed, because if it gets in your head as you go to sleep, and it'll be easier to move forward with it in the morning. Just like if you worry a bunch before you go to sleep, in the morning, you're going to wake up in a bad mood or worrying or something like that. So what this is doing is saying you're projecting what your day is going to be when you first wake up in the morning. And in Lojong terms, what you want to do is project a day where you Lojong, you lo your jong, you develop a heart that cherishes others over yourself, especially in the sense of understanding that they're coming from you, therefore treating them as holy objects will help you to see a world filled with holy objects. And any faults you see in them will, if you do not respond to them as faults on their own, coming from their own side, it will help you to erase those faults in your own mind, in your own mind stream, which is the thing creating them. And so if you don't treat the world like this, all your problems will come about, which is getting old, dying, all the myriad of problems you have, having to work all day and all night to then make a bunch of money, which you'll eventually lose, and so on and so forth. Okay? You know what your problems are better than me. So, okay, so all those things, if you can practice Lojong well, and I'm like really bad at Lojong. I'm bad at all this stuff. Aldo's really good at Lojong, actually. He's never going to tell you that, but he is. And same with Rivas. I'm like, Rivas, I need a ride somewhere across Guadalajara in the next 5 minutes. He's like, oh, hold on, I'm running my business and taking care of my kids and my wife and my mother-in-law, but I'll be there to pick you up in 3 minutes. He's like picking me up and driving me across Guadalajara. Is this good? I'm like, yeah, okay. He's like, word, can I have some money for gas? I'm like, sorry, no pesos. He's like, okay, no problem, bye. see you tomorrow. That's how you want to be throughout your day as best you can. Remember though, within your capacity, if you do not do it within your capacity, you're going to regret it. If you regret it, your practice is going to suffer. Okay? So even if it is, and your capacity is really based upon your understanding of emptiness, right? So it's like a staircase. As your capacity of emptiness grows, your ability to help others will grow. As your ability to help others will grow based on the understanding, then your understanding of emptiness will grow like that. And I recommend doing experiments. Okay, I experiment with myself with my practices to make sure that they work for me and to prove them. Right. So do something. Like I was working in retail hell. It was a pretty good job as far as substance, but as far as money, it was horrible. And I had to deal with the public every day, which is way too much for me because I tend to be introverted, right? Ask Aldo, I lived at his house and I wouldn't say hi to him and he thought I was crazy. But really, I don't like people that much. And you have to know that about yourself. We're going to get to this whole thing later on that. You have to know your capacity and then experiment, see how much you can shift it. Okay, I do like people more than I did last year. All right, I'll tell you the truth. But maybe it's Zoom. Zoom makes my life easier. I don't have to actually hang out with anyone. But say the best experiment to start that I find is with money. Why? Because it's easily quantifiable. Right? With happiness, you can be like, I don't remember how happy I was. Okay, if you were broke last year, okay, and then this year you have like 100 G's in the bank, you're like, it worked. Okay. And then once you've proved yourself, it worked, then go to more insubstantial things like happiness or you know, getting rid of your pride and so on and so forth. But when you first wake up in the morning, just determine what you're going to do. You don't have to be like, I'm going to help everyone. Just be like, I'm going to attempt, or I'm going to do lojong, especially with my boss or especially with my wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, you know, roommate, whoever. It helps to make it specific, really. And if it's working, then your mind should get better, okay? I don't know about my heart, but my mind is getting better. uh, I don't know how it happened, but probably because I love teaching Tibetan, but I don't like feeling stuff. So I'm getting smarter, but I'm still not that nice. Okay, so second power is kompagitop. Kom means to habituate. Where is the most famous use of this kom? $20. Come
The
on.
path.
What path?
The second path.
Rebus?
You said preparation?
Nice stalling technique. Okay, Rebus.
Habituation is the fourth path. Sorry.
Oh, yay! Yeah, nice stalling technique. Okay, Rebus. Let me take out my list here. I have been paying people, by the way. Not very fast. You're not on here yet, Rebus? I thought you were.
No.
That was your first.
Yeah, it's my first time.
Okay, you got to tell me what path number it is, though.
4.
Okay, good. All right, fine. There you go. $20. 20 pesos, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
You're like Lojong. See, I told you he's good. Okay. No, it's $20. I'm messing with you. So kompa gitop is the path of habituation. Excuse me, the power of habituation. So, yeah. So you have to get used to cherishing others first, and the way that the Kadampas, the holy Kadampas, would do this, who are very, very practical. Okay, they're extremely practical. These are the practitioners who would keep stones in their pockets, and like they would just have like, I don't know, they must have big pockets, or maybe it was like a pouch, I forget, but like it would be like 50 black stones and 50 white stones, and every time they did something bad during the day, they would be like, oh, and they would take a black stone out and like put it someplace, and then every time they did something good, they would take a little white stone out and put it someplace. Anyway, so then at the end of the day, they would see which pile is bigger, because you know it's easy to lose track. The hardest person to tell they're a blank hole is a blank hole. Okay, try to tell someone, "Wow, you're a real asshole." They'll be like, "No, I'm not." You're like, "All right, fine." So you have to try to track this kind of thing yourself. Okay, so. Or ask your girlfriend. She'll tell you all about it, okay? Boyfriend. They're just waiting. They have a list. Anyway, so the way they would do this was every time they move from what they call one of the 4 stations. I don't know. This is kind of famous in Buddhism. The 4 stations, which is like laying, sitting, standing, and walking. For some reason, I love this 5 powers practice. When I first heard it, I'm like, that is so cool. And I tried to practice it a lot when I first heard it. I don't practice it so much anymore, but for some reason, I personally love this practice. Anyway, so every time you change positions, like if I, one of my other lamas would say in the morning too, especially like when you stand up in the morning, as soon as your foot hits the ground, think bodhicitta. Okay, think, and pick which foot too. You know, there's a saying in English, get out of the wrong side of the bed or something. There's a practice, I'll teach you it because I like you people. It's you check which nostril the air is moving in more easily. Okay, right now, because usually it switches throughout the day about every 2 hours. if you're a yogi, you know this practice called Nadi Shodhana, which is like cleaning out your channels using alternate nasal breathing. So right now, my right nostril is more open. And so when you get out of bed, you check which nostril, and then you step on that foot. Okay? And then this is not part of the class Geshe Michael taught, but I'm teaching you an extra thing because I like you. And then when you step out of bed and you say to yourself, okay, my right nostril's more open. So when your right foot touches the ground, you're like, okay, I'm going to work hard for others today. Okay? In an intelligent way. Okay? That doesn't mean let your boyfriend hit you or something like that. That's never what this means. I mean, unless you're a Buddha or something, and if you are, then you don't need this teaching anyway, so you know what to do. Okay, so every time you change positions, you think to yourself, I'm going to help others, or something, or just, I like to do keywords. I'll just think to myself, bodhicitta, you know? And that means a whole bunch to me, because this is a year, I don't know, this is my 10th year with Holy Geshe Michael. So if you say bodhicitta to me, it opens up a whole file in my mind, okay? So it might be easier than me like, I'm going to cherish others over myself, just like the Lojong Dunduma says in the second part of the fourth part of, that'll get tiring and you'll stop, okay? So that's the second of the 5 powers, habituation, just like Mr. Rivas taught us. Okay, next is Karpo Sabengi Top. So Sabin is very famous. Sabin means seed. That's the word we're always talking about. The thing that opens up in your mind. That's Sabin. It's the same. And if you're a farmer in Tibetan, if you're a Shingpa, you plant Sabins. It's a farming. It's the same word. There's another word, bakchak, which is more technical word. Anyway, so Karpo here means white, means virtuous in this context. And this is the force of pure white deeds. So the point here is you want throughout the day to collect as much good karma as you can. Stay focused on that fact. And you have to be smart about it, okay? I'll tell you a story because I like hearing myself talk. I'm a doctor of Chinese medicine. I trained for 3 years on my own, and then 4 years I went to a amazing school in Northern California, and then for 3 years I went to another amazing school in Central Coast of California, in the Monterey Bay area. And so that is 6 plus 4, 10 years of study, okay? And like, I don't know if you guys know me, but when I study, I really study, okay? So I studied hard and a lot and got super into it, super nerd, right? And then one day so then I opened a clinic. After that, I finished my doctorate. I opened my own clinic with a friend, but I had my own space. And I was doing it for, I don't know how many months it was. Maybe it was month 8. And I started getting a lot of business, okay? And I had students, I had Qigong students. I was teaching them Qigong to be doctors and everything. And I was a teacher at the local acupuncture school. So I was living the dream is what I'm saying. But then one day I was like, wait a second. Is this the best thing I could be doing? And my intuition said no. I said, really? He's like, nope. And I'm like, well, what should I do? Intuition, it said, become a translator. I was like, translator? Okay. I barely knew any Tibetan. Nothing, okay? I was just listening to Geshe Michael on the internet at that point. And I said, what languages? They said Chinese and Tibetan. I'm like, I don't know Chinese or Tibetan. They're like, I don't know, you asked. Bye. I was like, fine, I'll become a translator. And I left everything. Okay, I lived at the beach. I lived a mile from the beach in California. Okay, I moved to Phoenix. Do I have to say anything else? Okay, sorry if you like Phoenix, but like I lived at pretty much one of the nicest towns in the whole country. Okay, to be honest, filled with beautiful ladies. Okay, which is a priority for me when I'm single. Okay, um, and extremely liberal, filled with healers and acupuncturists, etc. And I left for Phoenix. Why? Because of this third power. My intuition and my heart knew that the karma I collected from being a doctor would not be as great as the karma from becoming a translator. And I moved to Phoenix and suffered in the Phoenix heat until one day Geshe Michael offered me a job as a translator. And he said, would you like to be a translator? I'm like, would I? Please. Okay, and the rest is history. So you have to find that thing that helps you plant the best seeds, okay? And that's gonna be different for everybody. But traditionally they say, serve a lama. And the lama doesn't have to be like Geshe Michael in, holy Geshe Michael wearing robes or something like that. Although it can be if that works for you. Your lama, your teacher can be your wife or your kids or or somebody just that everyone else thinks is like a weirdo, like maybe even bum or something. I don't know. Some of the most profound teachings I've ever heard have been from homeless people, okay, in Philadelphia and New York and Guadalajara and all over the world. Actually, I've met extremely wise homeless people. You'd be surprised how wise a homeless person is, okay? Maybe you wouldn't. You try to live on the streets, okay? You got to get wise or it's going to be over soon. But anyway, you find your teacher and you serve them. And then teach in whatever way, that could mean raising your kids or sharing with your tias y tios y not your suegra, okay? Be careful. Ten cuidado, Rivas. Especially if she lives with you. Don't say the wrong thing to your mother-in-law. But people who are open, people who want the teachings, okay? So those are usually the two best ways to get good karma. What are the next two? Usually you need those two. Studying, meditating on emptiness, and doing some kind of practice like yoga. Those are usually traditionally the best ways to plant good seeds. Because you want to finish it. You don't want another life like this, trust me, all right? Just go to bliss. All right, that's the the power of white deeds, the power of good deeds. Okay, next is this sunjinpa kito, to rip out from the heart. This word sunjin is actually a quite violent word. If they're using this word, it's not lightly used. This word is used, actually can have connotations of like rape, stuff like that, like horrible violence. But this is doing horrible violence to your mental afflictions, okay? Okay, in the Abhidharma Kosha, it says, any negative thought is bad except getting angry at yourself for having a mental affliction, okay? Meaning, if you have a mental affliction, you're like, stupid mental afflictions take you out, that's okay. So that's like this. And we've had this already in an earlier Lojong, right? Like, don't allow any thought of a mental affliction to go on even for a second. I think Lojong Sakima, right? In the 8 verses. And yeah, and throughout the day. And sometimes it's hard because we don't have the concentration. You need to have concentration to practice well, because after you get up from your cushion or whatever, however you meditate, you still have to be aware. Master Shantideva talks about this extensively. Awareness of your body, awareness of your feeling, awareness of your mind, and awareness of the Dharma, awareness of what you're supposed to be doing throughout the day. Because if you lose that awareness, then the whole day will go by. And you'll be like, oh yeah, I've done this before. In the morning, I'm like, I'm going to focus on emptiness all day. And then I immediately forget. And then like, it's like 7 at night. I'm like, oh crap, was that today? I forgot. You just completely forget, you know? And that's, what is that? What's that? What's that called when you forget? That forgetting, what's that called? It's the second problem of the meditation practice. Remember? You forget the thing you're supposed to be meditating on. Okay, there's 5 problems and 8 solutions, right? Okay. So rip it out immediately. And I'm good at ripping things out. I'm good at being violent, so to be violent towards my mental afflictions, it works for me. Okay, maybe you're nice, so just do what you can. Just be like, okay, no more. Okay, stop. Okay, so Munlam Kitop is the power of prayer. Munlam means prayer. And this should be pretty familiar to our group because it's what you do right before you go to bed. What do we like to call that, Rivas?
Tartuk.
Tartuk. Okay. Rivas is really good at Tartuk. I'm pretty sure. I think that's his secret weapon. That's how he keeps getting everything he wants. Like becoming this translator. He's like becoming like a world famous translator. I'm starting to get jealous, Rivas. I'm not quite there yet, but almost, okay? Slow down, okay? No, I'm joking. You're amazing. So this is your whole day because this is your whole life wrapped up as a point, right? So the first practice was when you first get up. The second practice was like every time you move, like when you literally got up, right? Or moved anyway. All day you're supposed to think about good stuff. You try to perform good deeds. And then anytime you have like a bad thing in your mind, you're supposed to rip it out. And now at night, just before you go to sleep, close your eyes and joyfully review your day's efforts at helping others get the things they wanted. So any good thing you did during the day, especially focusing on things that you want to create in your world, as like the fourth of the 4 parts of a path to karma, right? Shi, Sampa, Jorwa, Tartuk. How to plant a seed. Okay. And there's a saying that nothing succeeds like success. Do you know that one, Kelly McGee? That's the saying. It's true. I don't know. Nada éxitos como éxitos. I don't know how to say it. But it's true. I have a friend who I talk to almost every day. Beautiful person. And she's doing all this inner work, constantly doing inner work, self-improvement work. And she's gotten so good at it. Now people are like, they're like, hey, what are you doing? How are you so happy now? Like, what's going on? What did you do? And she's like, oh, I've been doing this, basically all this work and taking responsibility for her life, her world, her emotions, and so on and so forth. And it's affecting. And so people are like, well, what do you do? Like, show us. Like, where's the book? How did you do it? And that's bodhicitta. That's bodhicitta. You get really good at what you're doing such that others want to know what you're doing, and then you tell them all about it. Not giving your mother-in-law a lecture on seeds, okay? That's a really bad idea, okay? We're not supposed to proselytize, for a fancy English word. We're not supposed to go around, we're not supposed to go door to door and say, have you heard of bodhicitta today? Okay? Other religions can do that. That's part of their religion. Buddhism, you're not supposed to do that. If you took the logic course, why aren't you supposed to do that? Logically.
I don't know, maybe because you won't like them and then you can't help them if they don't like you.
That's true. Well, what is the major tenet of Buddhist logic when you're arguing with somebody?
You have to start with what they know.
Yeah. You have to, you can't, you can only give them a premise that they then put together based on things they already know. If they voluntarily come to a teaching, yeah, tell them the whole thing. Yeah, of course. But even if they do voluntarily come to teaching, you still have to read your crowd, okay? Okay, I like to study comedians. Comedians, I think comedy might be the hardest, like stand-up comedy is like kind of the hardest gig, okay? To try to make people laugh, especially if they never heard of you and don't know who you are, it's very difficult, okay? So you have to be able to read your crowd. You have to be able to stop. If you have a bit you practice for a month and your crowd just like looking at you like you're crazy when you start it, you have to just stop and just do a whole other thing, or just start making fun of the crowd, or just start making fun of yourself. Just, you have to be willing to do that. And as a Dharma teacher, you have to do that. Geshe Michael tells stories of going to some place in the States and then, having some profound teaching, which he's extremely prepared for, because he's always extremely prepared, and they're just looking at him like he's crazy or something, and all of a sudden he just slips right into Lam Rim. He's like, yeah, so you should really take care of your mom, and like the crowd doesn't even notice because they're not ready for this other teaching, okay? So you have to give people teachings that they're ready for, even if they come to your class. And you got to look at their face, okay? If you want to know what's going on in someone's mind, look at their face. All right? Okay. Okay, so that's called POA, like what you do throughout the day. Now this is the real practice of POA, right? In the sense, this is a Lojong practice of POA. So like, if you do that throughout the day, every day as best you can, and admittedly, I joke around a lot, but admittedly, I try very hard to do these practices. You may have noticed, I don't know, and especially for the first few years, because I'd never heard of them before, I would try extremely hard at these practices. And I can tell you, for someone who's tried very hard, you'll have failures. You'll fail horribly. You'll start yelling at someone, or I live with my mom right now. Okay, it's messy. Okay, but most of the time I'm fine, because after years, after about a decade of practice, a lot of this I'm habituated to. Like, I don't have to think about karma and emptiness in every second, like as like a teaching. It just comes to me. I'm like, oh yeah, well, it's empty, duh. Okay, move on. And like, it's almost second nature, like to teach a class. I'm like, okay, I gotta teach something. I gotta teach Dharma. Geshe wants me to teach, I want to teach. Everyone wants to teach. People want to learn. Okay, let's do this. The world's dying. Let's do this. Come on. Right? I don't have to be like, well, bodhicitta, and then all my mothers, and then I gotta repay their kindness. You should do that, okay? I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying that if you do these practices long enough, you will develop a habit. Just like all your bad habits that you developed, you will develop good habits. And at that point, you can practice the real POA, which is your death, on your deathbed. Because when you're gonna die, three of us, when is the day of your death?
I don't know.
So you have to act like you're gonna. He's right. He doesn't know. I don't know either. But I'm here with my family. My dad, he's in hospital. It's not looking that great. Okay, in terms of him getting out of there. He didn't know when the ambulance took him out of the house. He thought he was. I'm pretty sure he thought he was coming back. You see what I'm saying? And maybe he will. But you never know. Okay, you never know, and that's reality. I'm sorry, that's just the truth. I was um. Wait, what's that word? Sorry, my mind just went. Whoop. I was. Oh my god, my brain. I was. What was when someone tells you something that you are? That is the act of brain. Anyway, someone said, "Hey, word, you're being so morbid, talking about death. Like you could die any day. I don't want to talk about that." I'm like, okay, right? But if you get good at that practice, the practice of recognizing the fact that you could die every day, any day, therefore you should invest your life into things that um, will help yourself and others. Every day of your life will be like electric or something. Hang out with Geshe Michael for 5 minutes. Okay. It's like people just like being close, like physically close to him. Do you know that? Because it's like, he's like, okay, okay. Okay, I'm a translator. I get to edit sometimes now. Geshe Michael's text. I'm not saying to brag. I'm just saying that's the truth. And just in the last, I don't know, day, I got sent like 4 or 5 books. Like Geshe's just like, I'm like, how? When? Like, how's he doing it? You know? But if you think about all the time you spent, I don't know, whatever you do. I waste time watching YouTube. I mean, fun stuff, but whatever it is that you do to waste time, maybe it's gossiping on the phone or complaining or something. If you minus all that time and then learn to like translate or something or help beings, that's you'd be like Geshe Michael, okay? So anyway, you're gonna die. And on your deathbed, the first power, the projection power, okay, it's the same names, Penpa Kitop. On your deathbed, make the determination that you will not lose the wish to help other people. Okay? To serve others. Because, okay, even worse than not knowing when you're gonna die, where are you gonna go after you die, Rivas?
I won't die.
Good. Rivas is not gonna die. He's a good practitioner. For us who are still working on our practice, we don't know where we're gonna go when we die. Okay? And if you don't know, we'll just say that you had another life. Okay, you don't know. Say you had a past life. If it's true you had a past life, how much of that past life do you remember? About 0, right? Once in a while you get like a thing like, I think I might have been okay, Chinese people are like, were you Chinese in a past life? Word? I'm like, I mean, probably. I mean, that makes sense. I don't know, but I study Chinese, I study Tai Chi, I'm a Chinese masseuse. I mean, come on, okay, Chinese, I guess. But what am I left with? I'm not left with, I don't remember what my Chinese sister looked like or something, or what city I lived in. I just have impressions and just things that I'm drawn to, right? And so that's what we're doing here on our deathbed, because on the deathbed is very powerful. I don't know if you guys know this. It's the I forget what they call it. The four. Sometimes they call it the 4x4, but sometimes the 4x5 in DCI. And the fifth 4 is how to make a karma more powerful when it ripens. And one of the ways is closer to your death. And there's these Buddhist stories of people thinking like, wow, I love elephants. Elephants are so beautiful. And they die and they like come back as an elephant or something like that. There's stories like that. So they say in Buddhism, it's very important on your deathbed to have a clear mind and think of the thing that you want to carry in the next life. In this case, it's helping others, right? Which is the whole practice. All right, blah, blah, blah. Second, Gompa Kitop. so as you begin to become aware that you're going to die, you thoroughly get used to the idea that you're going to help others, even though it starts to get a little crazy. Wait one second. Sorry, charger. Because apparently, when you're dying, it's very painful. Like it's very specific kind of pain, and as this happens, and you start to have these different kind of visions, hallucinations, which Aldo knows really well. You should ask Aldo to teach you this Buddhist death meditation, because he knows it really well. You should be in your mind just firmly, like even when all that crazy stuff's going on, like I will help others. It's like these. I don't know. To me, it's like being a soldier or something. You hear these stories like these rock climbers. They got their like arms stuck in a rock or something, and then they're like, well, either I'm gonna die or I'm gonna saw it off, and they like eat their own arm off or something insane to survive. And in their mind, they're just thinking, I'm gonna survive. Like I've been in some tough positions, not that tough, but tough. And you have to be clear-minded. You have to be like focused and clear. And so after a lifetime of habituating yourself to helping others as you're dying, you have to have that idea clean in your mind, even as these things start to these hallucinations and these visions start to occur. Okay. Okay, so next is the third power. So all the powers are the same names. It just refers to, instead of during your day, to at the time of death. Okay. So again, karpo sabingitop, right? The power of virtuous deeds, right? Good seeds. So what you're doing at this point is you give it all away, right? Just like Master Shanti Davis said. Most people think, if I give my money away, I'll have none to spend. A Bodhisattva thinks, if I don't give all my money away, I won't have any to spend. Okay, so just like just be like, take all my good deeds, like take all my happiness, like may everything I have just bring everyone happiness. Because I don't know if you guys know the 6 realms. You probably do, right? The 6 ways you can be reborn. Who knows those? Tell me. What are the 6 ways?
The 6 realms
See.
is like hell.
See.
The hungry spirits, or how you call it, the
See.
Animals, humans, semi-gods, gods, and
Todo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gretas, yeah.
Perfecto. Gracias. So the hungry spirits, I don't know. Espíritus tienen hambre?
Espíritus hambrientos.
What is it?
Espíritus hambrientos.
Hambrientos?
Hambriento.
Okay, gracias, Hero and Vic. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, yeah. If you die holding on to things that you can't really take with you, you will you probably become a hungry ghost. Okay. You don't want that. And so I mean, you can't take it with you. It's all gonna leave. But people in their hearts, even as they're dying, will still clutch to things. Just let it go, man. Give it away. This is that power. All the good seeds you collected, just be like, boom, take it, okay? Because first of all, if you understand karma, what's gonna happen if you give all your seeds away?
It's the only way to get something.
Yeah, and you're dying anyway, so What are you gonna do with them? I don't know. Okay. In English, we say you got to think of the long con. Okay, just you guys know what that is? Like a con job is when you trick somebody into like giving you money by convincing them you're a good person and you're not. But this is the opposite. You got to think like long term. Like, wait a second, huh? What's gonna happen when all these white deeds and I die? I don't want to just die. I better give them away before I die, just in case. You got to think long term. Okay. Okay. Cool. Next, the ripping out power, right? Sunjin Pakito. Yes. Destroy the negative imprints in your mind that have come from bad deeds. Okay, so as you're dying, you want to confess. And this is they do this in Catholicism too, right? The priest comes in like and like says like there's a whole thing, right? Like you want to confess your sins, right? It's like your last shot. Buddhism's the same. I don't know if the reasoning's the same, but basically you don't want to keep any of those bad deeds in your mind stream. I mean, because what happens if you do a bad thing? Okay, I was a delinquent kid. I was always doing bad stuff. Okay, I was stealing and punching people and skipping school and other things I'm not going to mention on YouTube. Okay, but bad stuff. And what I noticed, what happens when you do something like bad that you know is bad? What happens? Anybody? What happens to your mind?
You feel bad later?
Yeah, you feel guilt, and you always like, are they gonna find out? Like you're kind of always like looking over your shoulder, right? Like, even to this day, sometimes people will like call me like, "Hey, word." I'm like, "Wait, what? What did I do? What did I do?" I don't do anything bad anymore, but still, I still have this feeling like, did I do something? How'd you find out? Right? They during your life, they say if you really do a lot of bad things, it's impossible to really meditate because you always have this sensation of guilt. You can never really go deep. So, but as you're dying, it's important to clear your conscience because again, you don't want to have those kind of thoughts in your mind as you're dying because they're going to propel you to even worse than what is it? Espíritus hambrientos. How do I do? Okay. There's worse than that, right?
Very good.
There's Los Infernos. Hell realms. Or, I mean, even if you don't believe in hell realms, it's still like, I mean, if we have Zoom and you have a laptop, you probably have like a decent life, okay? But there's people in your country right now who don't even have a house to live in, okay? Here in the Northeast, it should get cold eventually. Yesterday was 80 degrees. I don't know what happened, but it was nice. But it gets cold and people are sleeping outside. You think it's hard to meditate now? Try to meditate sleeping on a subway train, okay? Waiting for the cops to, bother you or somebody to steal from you. In Philly recently, these guys going around, they would just stab homeless people, okay, as they were laying on the ground. All right. So, even if you don't believe in Los Infernos or Espíritus Hambrientos, you still could be born just having a bad life, somewhere that's poor or into a family that's abusive or something. I have a teacher. He's my Kung Fu teacher, okay? He's really smart. He's a mega genius. And he said He's like, you know why I want to get enlightened? I'm like, okay, why? He's like, middle school. I don't want to ever go back to middle school. Middle school was bad enough for him that he's like, that's worth the suffering of middle school, which you never hear about in Buddhism much, right? But the suffering of middle school is bad enough that, nah, I don't want to come back, okay? So you got to think like that. Anyway, yeah, rip them all out. Just let it all go. And don't wait till you're dead. Do it now. You know, you can go to your, how do you say, padre? Or, you know, if you have vows, there's specific ways you're supposed to confess, right? You're supposed to go to someone who understands the vows, right? I'm supposed to go to Aldo like, Aldo, I didn't do my blankety blank for my secret blankety blank and my bodhisattva this and that, okay? And I thought about hitting this person, then that person, then that person. Okay? Okay, I don't think about hitting people that often anymore because I just hide in my friend's basement. Okay, here we go. So that's the ripping out. So now it's Munlam Gitop. As you die, it will hurt a lot. Okay, I mentioned this earlier. Okay, I don't know. Okay, personal advice from Dr. Word. Okay, be careful with this practice. Okay, I've done this practice not while dying. I don't know. I don't remember my past lives, but I had a lama that would just say, even if you're going through something bad, like just say to yourself, okay, I'm suffering. Give me some more suffering. Come on, like let's just burn it all. Right? What's that in English? The roof is on fire. We don't need no water. You know the rest. Yeah, just burn it all to the ground. Just let all the bad deeds burn. And I've done that before. I'm like, and then all of a sudden I'm really having a horrible time. I'm like, wait, what happened? And I'm like, oh yeah, I asked for more. Oops. So they say on your deathbed, if you're a seasoned practitioner, okay, I guess you're dying anyway, it doesn't matter. You just ask for more. You say, you know what? I'm just gonna take it all with me, like an action hero, you know? You're just like, the bad guys got you cornered. There's no way out, but you're still gonna save the planet. You're like, okay. You're like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Will Smith, I don't know. Or actually Iron Man, right? At the end of oh, maybe I shouldn't spoil that one. Okay, you're an Avenger, and you're like, okay, I'm just taking it all with me. You just blow up yourself to like take out all the bad guys, right? This is what you want to do with all the bad karma. You're like, just give me all the bad karma. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna be leaving the world anyway. I'm already in horrible pain. Just give it all to me, okay? And then you die with all the pain of the world, and everyone's happy. Yay! Except you, you're dead. No, I'm joking. That's not what happens. This is what happens. Okay, so Geshe Chikawa, who died when?
1175.
Not 1155?
No.
Good, Rivas. You made up for that. Okay. Yes. On his deathbed, he's at a very famous death story, okay? These are his last words. I'm gonna wait, Rivas wants to read it.
I wanna go to hell.
Yeah, exactly that one. Rivas, you want to read this in Tibetan?
Yes.
Don't read the consideration. It's not right anyway. At least the first thing isn't right. Read this.
It's a nga.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's too short.
Yeah.
Nga.
S.
Nye.
Yeah.
Ne.
Yeah.
Sem.
Yeah.
Tem.
Chen.
Chem.
Yep.
Okay, Chem. I don't know. Ka. That's not Ka.
This is Ta.
Okay. Ta. Tam.
Yeah, good. Tom.
Cha. Chang. Chang. I
Che.
know it's da. So che.
Yeah, good. Che.
Ki.
Yes.
Don.
Tun. Yep.
Do.
Yes.
This doesn't. Nar.
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
Do.
Yes.
Ko.
Draw.
Draw.
Yeah.
War.
Nice.
Hung? No.
Yeah, what you said?
Hung?
No, mun.
Moon.
Yep.
Tra.
Par.
Par.
Mm-hmm.
Wu.
Mm. Payata cha sa je.
Che.
Yeah.
Kiu.
Kyang.
How was it?
Kyang.
Kyang.
Kayata kyang. Kayata. Yeah.
Me.
Yes.
Tro.
Yes.
War.
Yes.
Dun.
Duk.
Duk.
Yes.
Ka.
Dak.
Gak. Gak. Sure.
Yeah.
She.
Shing.
It's Xing. Okay, Xing.
Good.
Ko. Ke. No, Ki.
Yeah. Good.
Trom. Saratata.
Nang.
Sar.
Nang.
Nang.
Uh-huh.
Nang. Wa.
Yep.
Shir.
Shar.
Char. No, I don't know that one. Tang.
Payata cha.
Is this the same? I don't know. Ching.
Chung.
Chung.
Yay!
I'm sweating, man. I start sweating.
Better story. Okay. Good job, Rivas. Okay. So as Geshe Chikao is dying, you have to stress your Tibetan students a little bit, okay? That's a lineage. As Geshe Chikao was dying, he said, Nga me, Semchen Tamche, all beings, ki of those beings tun. All their goals, all their dreams, right? Narme tu Joar, send me to the lowest hell. Munpar, I pray for that. Then he says, Kyang, he's like, but Minjoar, Duke, I'm not going. Dakshin gi nangwar sharjung. All I see is paradise. So Geshe Chikawa is trying to commit lojong on his deathbed. He's like, please send me to the lowest hell. Please, please. I'll help beings there. I'll do everything for them. And the more he prays for the lowest hell, the brighter the light of his Buddha paradise gets. Okay? So this is perfect lojong, okay? You give it all away, and then you get 30 times more back. You give it all away. I don't know, maybe you're poor for like a day or something. Or maybe a couple years, okay? Just to be honest. And then all of a sudden all these good things start coming, like amazing things, things that you would never even think that you could get. Yes, Irivor, it is quite possible to Tonglen on yourself, and you should do Tonglen on your future self. especially if you have like a business meeting coming up. Okay, so that's the perfect practice of Munlam Gito, which is poa on your deathbed in the sense of Lojong. Okay? And that is the fourth of the 7 points of the Lojong Dunduma, which is summarizing your whole life. Okay, good. Now the 5th point. That is, how do you know when you developed a good heart? So there's 2 ways to know. I mean, in general, fighting your tendency to take care of yourself and to ignore other people. Okay? If you're doing that, you're either there or on your way. But if you want to know if you have if you've gotten there, they say there's two judges of that. The people who you hang out with all the time and yourself. Okay? And you probably don't want to hear it from those people that you hang out with all the time, but trust me, they know. They know better than you often. If you want to know how good you're doing at your practice, just ask Aldo, okay? If you live with him. Don't worry, Aldo will tell you. He's not shy. He'll be like, he'll tell you even if you don't ask, right, Aldo? But this is what I say, ask your boyfriend, okay? Don't ask your mom. She thinks you're perfect, okay? Ask your best friend. Or maybe ask someone who you're friends with, who you haven't seen in a couple months, and they'll tell you like, oh, wow, you changed. Something's different. You're happier, right? Or something. And then, so that's cool. That's helpful. But ultimately, only you can really know, because the best bodhisattva activities are done in secret. And so only you really know the contents of your heart, right? Or, I mean, if someone's clairvoyant or something, I guess. But in general, you're the only one who knows and can say, oh, this is how far I've come, or this is what's right for me, or this doesn't work for me. All right? So be joy alone in an unbroken stream. This means that if things are going well, don't get too happy. If things are going bad, don't get too sad. We had this. What is this?
The 8 worldly thoughts.
Yay! What's the other version of the 8 worldlies? It was 2 classes ago. What are the other 8 dharmas?
The extremes?
Yeah, what are they? Kelly McGee.
Gosh, I don't know what they are.
What?
Thinking it's like the starting and stopping.
Yeah.
Coming and going.
Yeah.
I don't remember the others.
Oh. Things don't stop. Things aren't unchanging. Things don't exist at all. Things don't come. Things don't go. Things aren't one. Things aren't many. Okay, that's Ari Nagarjuna. You should memorize that. Okay. Anyway, so all day, just be happy, okay? So I've been practicing a while now, and now I have students. Okay, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Sorry, students. But I have some students, and when you have students, they write you emails. They say, "Word, I have a problem, blah, 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 blah." And I say, "Oh, yeah?" And, you know, I try to help people as best I can. But what happens sometimes if you work closely with people, or if you're practicing really hard, it's hard to see that you're improving, okay? And, or you can get very impatient. So some of these things can take a while. Certain things will happen very fast, like cool things will happen to you. And you'll be like, oh my God, the Dharma works. And other things, like, I don't know, like your mom or something, will happen slow, you know? You'll be like, it's been 5 years, she's still this blah, blah, blah. You know, you're like, yeah, keep going, you know? Holy Geshe Michael, my teacher and many of yours' teacher, um, he put this group together of translators called Mixed Nuts, okay? I'm one of these crazy mixed up people. Not that the rest of them are mixed up, but I am. And he wanted to start that group for like 45 years. Okay, he waited over 40 years or something to start that translation group. Okay, so if it takes Geshe Michael 40 years to accomplish something, just buckle down, all right? You got some work to do. Okay, so don't worry about it. And if you're happy, it doesn't matter anyway. That's one of the tricks. Okay, it's called santosha in Sanskrit. It comes in the word tushita, right? The paradise. It means, one of our lamas, Lama Maru used to say, if you're truly content, then if you can reach the point where you're content, santosh, then you're actually done already. Because if you're content, then you actually don't want anything else, which would mean mission accomplished, right? So contentment's no joke. But anyway, as you work on things, just slowly but surely, okay? In Chinese, they say man man lai, just little by little. Okay, all right. Keep going, words, stop talking, telling stories. All right, it's there when you can keep it unthinking. Oh, okay. This is habituating yourself. Okay, so you want to get so good at lojong that they talk about riding a horse because, you know, it's like 1150 or something, right? When Geshe Chikawa was teaching this, but you know, I would say riding a bike is easier nowadays, or driving. I don't know. I ride my bike all over the world, actually. I was in Guadalajara, staying at Aldo's house, and he let me borrow his bike. Or was that Ria's bike? I think it was Ria's bike. Aldo and Ria let me borrow a bike, which was amazing. I loved it. But people are like, yo, be careful. You know, Guadalajara traffic. I'm like, I'm from Philly, okay? They try to hit you in Philly. And it was easy. I mean, it's not a big deal for me. I grew up literally in traffic, riding my bike in traffic every day. And I don't mind. And I had no problem in Mexico. You got to watch out for the bus drivers, though, okay? They're the craziest. But still, it was no problem. Other people have seen me ride my bike in traffic, and they say, you're completely insane. You're crazy. I don't know how you could even think to do those things. I'm like, you just ride with the cars. You have to be in the traffic if you're part of the traffic. And so that's what you have to be like. You have to be like a horse rider who's just, I can take off my shirt while I'm in traffic and put it in my bag. I did it the other day. But that comes with practice. And that's what you want with this lojong. You want to be like that, where you practice so much, it's second nature, you know? Hero's good at this. Don't tell Hero you like his scarf or his bracelet or his shirt, okay? He'll just hand it to you, right? He won't think about it. He's not gonna think, oh, Lojong Dundama, the third point of the fifth, blah, blah, blah. Just all of a sudden, the shirt's in your hand, okay? Even if you're like, no, I just thought it was nice on you. He's like, nope, take it, okay? And then next day you see him with a nicer shirt. You're like, where'd you get that? You're like, oh, someone gave me this nice shirt. Like that, okay? So all these practices, you have to habituate yourself, just like you're habituating to do the opposite, all right? If you're like me, okay, part 7. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he skips part 6. He puts it at the end. Actually, I don't think part 6 ever made it into the recording, if I remember correctly, because he starts it in the end of this class, but I'm pretty sure it's not in the beginning of next class. I'll double check. So I might teach the 18 pledges. Actually, I don't think I've ever had a teaching on all the pledges because of that fact, unfortunately. It is in Ken Rinpoche's book, Achieving Bodhicitta, and I do own that book. I have not read the whole book, but there's an in-depth commentary on the 18 Lojong pledges in the back of Achieving Bodhicitta. Aldo has that book if you want to borrow it from him, right, Aldo? You met a bodhisattva when they see this book called Achieving Bodhicitta, they're like, oh my God, this is the greatest book ever. That's what Aldo did when he saw that book. I was like, that is cool. I think Aldo bought me my book. Did you buy me my Achieving Bodhicitta, Aldo? I bought you yours? I think one of us bought the other one, Achieving Bodhicitta. I gave him my copy of Achieving Bodhicitta, maybe? Oh, yeah, okay. I gave you my copy of Achieving Bodhicitta. That's good practice, okay? I was like, here, you take my Bodhicitta book. Anyway, you got to be skillful. So part 7, which is certain advices, is you have to first act now, do the most important thing, okay? Again and again, crush your tendency to only take care of yourself. This does not mean you shouldn't try to get enlightened. There's this old Dharma rumor that said, oh, bodhisattvas stay in this world of suffering to help all beings. No, they don't. To you, it's a world of suffering, and you see a bodhisattva in it. To them, if they're a bodhisattva, it's paradise. And they're like trying to get you to paradise, but to all you see is suffering. Okay? So if you have a chance to get enlightened, take it. All right? Under no conditions should you not try to get enlightened. Okay? All right. Okay, so figure out both and free yourself. So this has to do with understanding yourself well enough such that you do not put yourself in positions, compromising positions, we say in English. I don't know how to say that in Spanish. Probably compromiso or something. But putting yourself in positions that you know are going to upset you, you know are going to be hard for you, okay? Like, okay, I just moved back in with my mom, okay? My dad's sick, moved back with my mom to help out, all right? And so I didn't know what was gonna happen. I'm like, okay, I have been practicing. I think I'll be okay. Or this could be a complete disaster. I didn't know, okay? You never really know. And it's been okay, actually. I must give myself some credit, okay? It's been good. It's been pretty good. Which is a good sign. If you go home and you're not trying to kill yourself or kill other people, then you've probably been practicing Lojong pretty good, okay? But before that, I used to have a policy of refusing to stay home for more than 24 hours. Because almost exactly at hour 25, I would start to get really upset. One day I could be cool. After that, problems. Okay? So you have to know yourself well enough do not put yourself in situations that are too difficult where your mental afflictions are going to get too much. And if you have a strong mental affliction that you know of, like my favorite mental affliction, I don't know, I have a few. Arrogance is, I'm pretty good at arrogance. Pretty good at anger, irritation. Those are probably my best ones, right? Jealousy, I'm okay at, okay? That whole spectrum. You have to know yourself and be like, okay, I'm gonna work on that one. It's like being in a fight. I don't know if you've ever been in a street fight. You don't get in fights. But if you're ever in a street fight and you have any chance of winning, punch the big guy first, okay? If you take the biggest guy out, and I know people have been in street fights, and they tell me, I have a friend who is a big guy, and he says, every time you get in a fight, they try to hit me first because I'm the biggest guy. And that's what you should do. Take out the big guy. For me, that would be pride or arrogance or something. Be like, come on, Word, you're not that great. If you were that great, then you could practice these things without pride, right? Duh. And then know yourself. Don't put yourself in situations where it's gonna bring that up too much to create more problems. All right. Stop thinking all the time about how wonderful you are. Okay. Again, this is not about low self-esteem. Okay, you're not supposed to have. What is it? Is it autoestimia? What is it? What is it? Self-esteem? I heard it once.
Autoestima.
Okay, I thought so. Something like that. Okay, autoestima. Yeah, you should have good autoestima. If you're spending your week in class with me and especially Rivas, you must have very good karma. Okay, to be studying these things. They say the karma is increíble, right? Imagine if our elected officials were studying Lojong instead of war strategy. If AMLO and Biden were in Lojong class with Geshe Michael, what kind of world would we have? Parisio, right? Like very quickly. And you can create it without anyone else. You can create it yourself too. So anyway, so you don't think, oh, I'm the greatest, but you think, oh, come on, I'm doing something right, right? And just keep going. And yeah, and use your good fortune to help others. Why? Because most people don't even know that they're dying. Okay? And plus, I know some of you have Bodhisattva files. I know Rivas does. I know Aldo does. I think Alejandra does. Kelly McGee, you got Bodhisattva vows?
The wish for Bodhisattva vows, or the wish.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Sometimes lamas will just give the wish first, which is good. It's like a probationary period, right? I just like threw myself in there. Okay, that's bad. I made all kinds of bad karma. I broke all kinds of vows. I'm still breaking vows. I confess. Okay. Anyway, you just got to try. You will break vows. You just got to try as hard as you can. So if you have bodhisattva vows, you vow to help all beings. So even if you don't think you're that great, still help people, okay? Because if you have these teachings, you are great. So go for it. All right, I'm doing okay here. Oh yeah, don't expect any thanks. Ha ha ha. You'll get thanks eventually, okay? But it won't be for the reason you thought it was. Okay, sometimes I teach these classes, you guys thank me. Sometimes I get nice emails and messages on Instagram. Thank you very much, everybody who sends me things. But when I was really working hard, when I was in retail hell, busting my ass for $10.50, I think that was my highest pay at that job. Oh my God. No one, people, people did thank me sometimes. Actually, I had this one person who would come in and they were like, So I quit the job. I'm like, oh, I went into the store to look for you. I was like, oh yeah, I left there a few months ago. They're like, that's too bad. You know, I really loved getting all that free advice from you because you're, you know, it was so cheap. You know, I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why I left. Or, maybe a better bodhisattva could have stayed. I don't know. I needed to eat a little more though. Okay, so don't expect any thanks. This says refers to 4 things. If you do spiritual practice, no one will thank you or appreciate your efforts. Great. Don't expect any help from others. Great. Don't expect anyone to say anything nice to you, not even your lama. Great. Don't wish for any fame or good reputation. Just help others quietly and privately. Okay. Okay. In my experience, it's almost you already have to be a bodhisattva for that to be the case, you know? Just lay low, and if you have problem, just find someone like to complain to, like Aldo or something, who's gonna be like, I'll be like, Aldo, no one thanks me, everyone there. And he'll be like, he's like, you want some pizza? And he'll just, you know, let me complain. So just find one person to complain to if you're having a hard time, or get a therapist. Okay. So here are the pledges to keep for developing the good heart. So Holy Geshe Michael, he does the first few in this class, but I'm gonna skip it and go to the homework because he doesn't finish, and I don't think he does all 18. So I'm gonna check for the next class, and if he does them, or if there's time, I'll do them all in the next class. If not, we might skip it. So I don't know. Maybe I should just do these 3. I'll just do these 3 for good luck, okay? So this is part 6 of the 7. Not acting in a way that contradicts what you have committed yourself to. Meaning, keep your vows. Don't go crazy doing lojong, okay? Don't think I'm some crazy yogi now. I can give it all away. You know, but like, word, didn't you move in with your mom? Doesn't she need help? But I'm a crazy yogi. You know, no. Just help your mom, okay, bro? Just do your vows. Just teach your class on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay. Do your homework. Okay. I'm staying in my friend's basement half the time when I'm in Philly proper. I'm already a crazy yogi. People are like, what do you do? You know? So you don't have to get any crazier. If you're in this class, if you're studying these things, don't worry. You're in the 99.999999 percentile of crazy yogis already. You don't have to do anything crazier. Okay, next, never placing yourself in dangerous situation. This is important, especially I think if you're beginning your practice. Okay, when I first started these practices, I was pretty young too, and I'm a reckless kind of person anyway. So I've been in many dangerous situations of which I could have avoided. Don't do that. If you are getting these teachings, you have a holy body, a holy mind, and you need to pass it on to other people. So you cannot put yourself in harm's way, we say in English, okay? Okay. So don't do that. Okay. And then never fall into the habit of discriminating between others means don't be selective, practicing patience and such, only with those you like, okay? So just do your best with everybody. Of course, there's gonna be people you don't like more, but in the sense of everybody wants the same thing, all human life is equal, okay? Everybody just wants to be happy. So do your best. And then change your mind and stay the same. Oh yeah, so inside your mind, you have to become a bodhisattva, you know, bodhicitta, renunciation, correct view, all, you know, these incredible things that will get you enlightened. But on the outside, you know, just still wear the same black hoodie that you bought at H&M in what's that place called?
Galerías.
Yeah, Galerías. Exactly. 2 years ago, whatever. When you walk down the street in Philly, no one's gonna notice you. Whatever. Who cares? Nice, Rivas. Wow. It's Galerías. Do you know that H&M in Galerías? I think
Yes.
it's on the second floor. Okay, but on the inside, change your mind and in deep ways that will help yourself and others. Woo, that's it. Let's look at the homework. Make sure I covered everything. Okay, that's the quiz. This is the homework. Okay. Poderes cinco? Cinco poderes? Which one? 5 powers. Cinco poderes, the 5 powers. Okay, so we went over everything thoroughly. Okay, so I'm not going to read every single word of this. Hold on, does he do both parts? Okay, good. So the first one is the projecting. So throughout your day, project. When you wake up, project that you're going to basically follow Lojong. Accustom yourself, or habituating. So as you change from sitting to standing, walking, and so forth, think of the path to enlightenment. Okay. Or the wish for enlightenment, excuse me. Next, try to do the best positive karma that you can throughout the day, all day. Next, if any bad thoughts come to you, especially cherishing yourself over others, or basically not attempting to get enlightened, then stop those thoughts immediately. And then as you lay down at night, review all the great things that you did. Okay? And it says the 2 forms of the wish for enlightenment. That means understanding emptiness directly, understanding the direct perception of emptiness, as well as wanting to help others, wanting to get enlightened to help others. Okay? To help others get enlightened as well. All right, good. And then at your death, you have to think to yourself of the wish, of Lojong, and then basically imprint it in your mind so that as you pass on, that's going to be in your mind. Offer up all your good deeds, your pure white deeds. Take all the bad deeds from everyone with you, and then pray you go someplace where there's pain so you can help them. And you know how that's going to go. Okay. Oh yeah, and there's another thing too. Like Lord Buddha died on his right side. You see it like in like Thailand, these like huge statues, like Lord Buddha like this. That's supposed to have a specific meaning, and sometimes certain people actually practice that, trying to sleep like that. I tried like once or twice. Okay, it's like impossible. I don't know who can sleep like that. Maybe leaning on a wall. Maybe if you're already like close to being a Buddha or something. I don't know. You can try though, okay? Don't get neck pain, all right? And what did Geshe Chikawa blurt out as he was close to death? He was praying to go to the lowest hell, and he said, didn't work. All I'm seeing is angels. There's just angels everywhere. Ah! He's like, no, hell. They're like, angels. Ah! Okay, I told you that story. Explain one by one the next 4 lines of the root text. Oh, this is the 2 judges. All Dharma. Whoa, this is long. Uh-oh. All right, fine. I'll summarize it. All Dharma comes down to a single point. There are 2 judges. Keep the main one. Be joy alone in an unbroken stream. It's there when you can keep it unthinking. Okay, this is The single point is cherishing yourself over others. So if you're having that, then you must cherish other people, okay? The two judges are people around you, close to you, that know you, and yourself. Keep the main one. The main one is you. Be joy alone in an unbroken stream. Don't lose your joy throughout the day. If things go up or down a little bit, just stick with the joy. And the last, it's there when you can keep it unthinking, is to be habituated. You can think of me in Guadalajara traffic, just eating a sandwich or something, torta ahogado, while I'm on my bike in traffic around the Glorieta at Ruben Dario. Okay, cool. This is all review. I hope you are picking it up. What does the root text mean when it says figure out both and free yourself? It means, one, first, to study how you got mental afflictions in the past. So which ones are the biggest problems for you? What kinds of thoughts set you off, and what kinds of people or objects incite them, okay? And then two, study how you are going to avoid these in the future, even the smallest ones. So the ultimate way is karma, emptiness. But the conventional methods are making sure you ate enough, making sure you got enough sleep. Just avoid Aldo altogether if you need to, okay? Or whoever annoys you. Just know yourself and just don't put yourself in a position where you're going to get upset easily, okay? Okay. What does the root text mean when it says stop thinking about how wonderful you are? It means don't think you are so great just because you are fulfilling your duty of serving others, okay? Remember that living beings desperately need your help, and you have already sworn to help them, so just do it. Okay? You can still pat yourself on the back, but don't be all like, I help living beings. Like, Chris Rock made a joke in one of his stand-ups, old one. What is that called? Oh my God, my mind is blanking today. I don't know. It's his first HBO special. Anyway, he says, well, the language, I can't quote him, but anyway, he's like, dude's always so happy, excited to tell you about some stuff that they're supposed to be doing. Like, I never went to jail. Like, man, you're not supposed to go to jail. I take care of my kids. You're supposed to take care of your kids. It's funnier when he does it. It's a lot dirtier, but that's the point. Like, you're a bodhisattva. You promise to help people, so don't get all, I help people, But still, recognize yourself. Okay, last, what does the root text mean when it says don't expect any thanks? Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. Do your Lojong practice without expecting any help, any good words from others, or any thoughts of reputation or fame. What's this called in Tibetan? $20. Klak Sam Nam Dak. Okay? This is a requirement for achieving bodhicitta. Why is my lighting weird all of a sudden? That means I'm going to do it myself. I don't care if anybody helps me. And even if they try to fight me, okay? I'm going to try to free them from suffering, even if they put me on a cross and nail me to it. Okay, it's happened. And, all right, you might have heard of that. Boop. I don't know why I got all dark. Anyway, that's it. Rivas is getting tired. We got to end class. Cool? Okay. We'll save this. We're going to sing a song. Kelly McGee.
I'm ready. Sashi Puki Jukshi Meto Chang Rira Blingshi Nyande Genpadi Sangye Shingdu Mikte Uwargi Jokun Namdak Shingla Truparsho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Niryatayami Gewa Di Kewu Kun Sunam Yeshe Tok Tok Shing Sunam Yeshe Lejung Wei Dampa Kuni Topar Sho.
Oh. Yay. Oh, yeah. Somebody. Oh, no. Is he here still? Maybe he left. Okay. I don't see him. Okay. He left. All right. I'll just write him an email. Okay. Cool. That's it. So, do your homework.
Gracias.
Gracias por la clase.
De nada. Do your
Gracias.
homework.
Word.
Just do the
Gracias,
class
Aldo.
online.
Thank you.
Study.
Gracias.
Okay.
Gracias, palabra, Word.
Gracias.
Adiós.
Gracias.
Gracias a todos.
Tienes un buen noche.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Hasta luego.
Nos vemos.
Adiós.
Hasta viernes. Gracias, Ria, Aldo.